I'm at a month tomorrow of Jiu Jitsu.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Jiu-Jitsu. How are you liking it?
Getting kicked around a lot. It's quite painful. I seem to be injury prone, but I'm enjoying it. So
yeah, dude. Sorry to tell me stories. When I just first started presenting jiu-jitsu, like people were coming, they were joining the gym, and everybody was kicking my ass. It seemed like nobody joined after me for the next 9 months. I had 9 months of just getting manhandled by better athletes and more experienced practitioners. It was really hard.
Got any injury tips? Because I can't seem to get out of there without, like, I'm getting all the finger stuff from holding on to gis and stuff from that getting tweaked out. I'm getting like joint pains from arm bars. So like both my joints are killing me. Both my elbow joints are killing me. And I get all the regulars, the bruises, the muscle bruises, that kind of shit. But those ones are the worst, probably.
Yeah. So fingers and elbows weren't my problem. One thing I would have done a little earlier. So there's this balance to be struck between fighting your way out of submissions and just tapping and living to roll another day. And I think I fought out of submissions too much, especially neck stuff. I feel like I spent most of my time that I did BJJ unable to turn my neck, and this is how I would look at people to the side. Like that was just like who I was.
It sucks.
Yeah. No, but it was like
second week rolling, like some guy did. I mean, he must have been a wrestler or something. But like we did a 5-minute roll, and like I got probably submitted 3 times in that, right? And they were all neck submissions. And like for the next week, I went home that night and I felt like I was getting a sore throat. And the next week, it was just like I couldn't, like, it was painful to talk for like that week, and it was just compression on basically the Adam's apple, etc.
Seems like that guy's being a bit of a dick. Like
I can't tell.
See, Filthy's new, and you're not supposed to break your toys when they're new like that. Like,
but he looks like a killer. Yeah. They see him and they think,
I hear you, but
this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, they were thinking, I have to do this for my own protection. Kill him quick.
Yeah. He's a month in, right? Like someone who rolls should quickly be able to identify Filthy as someone who's been doing this for a month and not hurt him 3 times in 5 minutes. Like, that's too much. Now, what got me is this. So imagine that I'm in your guard, right? And in this scenario, I'm much bigger and stronger than you, much bigger and stronger than me. One way that I could deal with this is I could pull your head towards me until it hurts so much that you'll let your guard go and just deal with, it's called a can opener. And I just pull your head forward and it's like this neck crank. I would not tap to that. I would fight back or just be flexible and be like, you can try all you want, but fuck you. I'm not letting you go just because you're hurting me. But over time, it was like, maybe I should have just let go. Maybe I should have been like, I know in my heart that if it was a competition or a fight, it wouldn't have worked. I don't have to make it not work every freaking time in training because I'm getting myself hurt. And that philosophy might do you well. Be smarter than me.
Like, you guys talk about this with UFC people, or not jiu-jitsu people, where it's like, is it a real problem that these people are cunts to new people trying to get into it? Because like the way I've always looked at things is like, you want people to be into your hobby. When Kyle started Magic the Gathering, do you think I took my best world beater deck and like embarrassed him and was like, see, this is what's possible if you waste as much time as I have? No, I went in there with a very gentle, slow playing deck and let him play it out and build it up. And he learned over time.
That's because you've only got one Kyle. They've got so many filthies up there at Big Mike's rough and tough jits studio. Like they don't mind if like he doesn't show up next week. They'll have a different guy to beat up on. Like, you know what I mean?
You got one Kyle. There's a million filthies. Yeah.
The scenario you laid out. Yeah.
It is true. When I find a friend that wants to play Magic with me, I treat it like a Fabergé egg. I'm like, don't push it too hard. Just please get into it with me, please. And sometimes they will.
I love the Fabergé egg reference. That's perfect. Filthy, how are you liking it? So you're a month in. Are you finding you're developing like a bit of a wrestler's physique? Like, is that?
I think it's a bit early for that. I'm trying to go through.
I love that aspect on me. You laugh, but
I'm trying to go. The way they're structured is 45 minutes of instruction, and then it's 15 minutes of rolling, right? And it's broken into 3 5-minute matches for rolling, and then I go 3 times a week. And on Fridays they do an hour roll after that, like just an open mat roll for that. So I'm sparring, I guess, for like an hour and 45 minutes a week right now, and then training for like learning moves and stuff for about 2.5 hours, right? Something like that. And
this seems like a lot.
225, I guess. And I'm still figuring it out. a lot, obviously. Like this is super early days for me. For stamina stuff, I feel like stamina is already up a little bit from that. Like the first week I went, it was like I couldn't catch my breath after the hour roll. Like I just like even like a couple matches in, it's just like can't catch my breath. I'm already feeling a little bit better about that. As to the rest of it, I don't feel like I'm learning shit. I mean, I must be. It must be slow, but it feels. Everyone in the gym keeps calling it like a fire hose. Like you're trying to like take a drink off a fire hose for the amount of information coming at you for that. And I don't know if that's true, but I'm certainly feeling it physically.
That's the best comparison those guys have. Those meatheads, you know. It's like trying to suck on a fire hose. It's like,
there are no
yes, sir.
references.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Like you were saying earlier, Woody, like I feel like there's not enough knowledge to know when to tap, right? Like not like, okay, if I'm in a submission, sure. Like, okay, as soon as I feel that arm joint going, I'm like, at this point, I'm just I'm erring on the side of tap immediately. Because already I'm like sitting here, I didn't go Wednesday, so I haven't gone since Monday, and both my elbows still are hurting from arm bars right now, right? And it's the rest of it. It's like, when do I exert effort? So as a person new to this sport, who doesn't have the knowledge base to really compete with this, when I'm wrestling with these people, I'm essentially, A, it's always just how long until I lose, and B, it's a lot of, I can put effort into a thing, but I can't really put technique into a thing. I can't like sit from a situation and go, okay, I'm in this situation, let me catch my breath for a second, I know how to fight out of this, I know these things. Most of the time the knowledge just isn't there, right? So it's like, where do you resist? Like at what point are you putting effort into which portions of that? And I must just be doing that in a way that's getting myself hurt. That's my working theory right now with this, because it's just like, I just end up every time I'm leaving there, I've got some stupid small thing that like doesn't go away for like 2 weeks.
Also, you're in your mid 30s and you've got guys yanking on your joints for 2
I'm in my
hours
late
a week.
30s. I'm 38.
I was being nice. So
you're in the middle of them, you know.
you're in the middle of your late 30s.
Stuck in the middle of them, yeah.
Maybe something for anti-inflammation, some sort of supplement for that. Obviously you're not going to want to get into like scary stuff, but there's tons of steroids that would make you like heal so fast and produce like mega amounts of collagen and all that stuff. But just there's nothing to be done for that. They're just hurting you. Maybe some curcumin.
How long is the period that, like in a practice run, because I've never done jiu-jitsu, that someone puts you in an arm bar where your arm's out there in a vulnerable position? What is the amount of seconds, like in a practice, not going full bore? How long are they holding that? Is it like 1 second? I imagine you would do it the way we did in wrestling in middle school, where it's like you demonstrate you have it, and then it's like, all right, well, that's the end of this, because if this were to continue, you're out of the, league.
Well, two comments on that. The first is, I don't know enough to yet know when an arm bar is caught and I can't get out. So sometimes you can resist by just you flex your arm essentially, so you never give that, or at least in parts of this, I'm not giving them a straight enough arm they could do that. So they're working on it. I could feel them trying to do something with that, and sometimes you can resist that way. And I don't know if that is stupid. It's just making this worse because I don't know enough, or if sometimes it's stopping stuff. So that's one of them. The other one, I had one the other day where a guy didn't hear me tap, right? So like he was on the ground and he did some, I don't even know what the fuck to call it. Like it basically caught from a position where he's on his back, his legs are up, and caught my arm in some position, and they arm barred me from that. And I tapped, and generally they're pretty good about instantly tapping, but he didn't hear me. So I had to say it twice. So I got like an extra second of that. It's pretty quick, right? No one's sitting there tweaking on that. And I'm not going out of my way. I'm certainly not, I'm erring on the side of be a huge baby about it, but I also don't want to just like randomly tap them in the middle of something when we're doing this that don't have that on me. So I don't know.
No, it's not being a baby. That's being someone with a healthy sense of self-preservation. Right. Like that,
a real
that is what it
sense
is.
of self-preservation, I wouldn't be there, right? So
yeah,
not as clear cut as that.
Like you were talking about when to use effort, right? Your effort goes into reacting quickly, right? Don't let them set in and get the position that they're hoping for. It doesn't go into reacting extremely, if that makes sense. Like time is of the essence. That's very important. But the move in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not to spaz and put a lot of effort into it. It's don't be lazy, take a breath, and then do your technique. So soon in the next few weeks, you'll know how to escape from full mount. You'll have an idea on how to get out of, whatever side control or something. Do those before the guy has really solidified his position on you. That's where your effort goes into, by not waiting. Don't do them super duper hard. That's not how you do it. So that's my take on that. And as far as like Taylor asked, like how long, what they should do, like let's say an arm bar, if people don't know, basically bend your arm backwards too far. They should have it to here and be like, you want to tap? No? Okay, a few degrees more. Do you want to tap now? I do own your ass. A few degrees more. Until Filthy is like, all right, I've had enough. I agree that you own my ass. Like, that's how it should work.
Mhm.
If a guy is like quickly in 1 second putting him in a position that hurts 2 days later, that guy's not being a good training partner.
Yeah,
As I suspected, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
the
former example is what you would get if you had like a private instructor. The second,
just a nice guy
is or someone who really knows what they're doing, right? Like if the guy's been there for, I don't know, 8-10 months, he finally found someone he can tap.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I got it sunk. I got it sunk. like he's loving this. This is the best times of his jiu-jitsu career. And I guess the hope is that in 9 months from now, Filthy will find his own version
Beat toy.
To like yank around and twist into balls and stuff, and then it'll be fun, because it's hard to enjoy something when you lose over and over, and that's what jiu-jitsu is for a very long time.
I'm okay with the losing over and over, especially when it feels like something like I don't mind being put in a position where I'm learning from like the bottom of that position, right? For that. But what I don't like is I don't like coming out of it repeatedly injured, feeling like if I'm going to do this thing, like I want to be able to go. I like the physicality of it. I like training for it. And if it requires a shit ton of repetitions and basic knowledge to get anywhere with it, I don't want that being prevented from me going back because I got injured doing the thing beforehand, because it slows down the whole process. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out that out. And it could be, as you say, it could be some dick guys. I don't think so. It could be me not knowing enough to know how to prevent myself from getting hurt. And it could be some lack of knowledge on their part too. I had a friend who was talking me into this initially, and he said, stay away from white belts and blue belts. They are, especially like he said, white belts won't know any better. They'll hurt you accidentally, and blue belts will often have a chip on their shoulder and want to prove something. And he said, just stay. But the problem is, it's like 99% of the class. So it's like, what am I going to do with that? So
you're just waiting for the one black belt or brown belt or purple belt to walk in, and I don't know the ranking,
but he's got CTE, and he forgets who you are, and he just tears you apart.
He's got CTE, and he thinks you broke into his car last night.
That's right. Yeah. So it's been fun. It's been interesting. Something different. It's a replacement for rock climbing in a lot of ways for me, because I'm not going to be able to easily get back into a gym here that is any good, that's close enough to do regularly. So it's a little bit mental. It's a lot physical. It's just a different athletic endeavor that I enjoy. So I've been having fun with it. I actually have to make that decision.
Because you were so into rock climbing and all that for so many years, like, and this is maybe me like reading too much into Juji Mufu's videos he did with rock climbers, but he was always blown away at their like hand grip strength compared to their like overall strength level, their size. Have you noticed that like your grip is giving you any good advantages or ability to control things, or not really?
First of all, I think I'm too new at this to have any real good anything, quite honestly, in my opinion. And it, like there's a couple instructors there, but one of the instructors that I've rode with a couple of times now, it's like fucking wrestling. What I imagine wrestling a giant constrictor snake is like. That's how it feels, because I'm just like, I can feel him rotating around me in positions that I'm trying to keep stationary as he finds positions and then like constricts in some way. It's going to be like an arm bar. It's going to be a neck thing. It's like when I'm in the middle of it, I feel like a fucking like trapped like gazelle about to be like smothered to death and eaten. So like I think I know I'm in danger, but I don't know exactly why I'm in danger. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So I think there's going to be some learning curve with that. And the second thing, they keep telling me, like various opponents are like, "Oh, you're a big guy, you're strong, you have a good body." Before they hurt someone, you're made for this shit. I just imagine Taylor over there. Kyle's identified what color the card is, and Taylor's like, "Oh, you look really good at this. You seem real bright. You'll catch on in no time." It's like,
whoa, you knew that was blue by looking at it.
I get a bit of that vibe.
It's funny. This guy knows his colors.
Dude, I do weird fucking hygiene stuff with this jiu-jitsu. Like I'm like showering before going, because I'm like good because you spend like about half my time is directly underneath someone, and maybe like a tenth of that time is like moves where they're like straddling my head. And I'm like, I don't want to be in the position where I've got like real fucking like I haven't bathed my balls in like 3 weeks and I've been doing a lot of sweating and I'm just like plopped down on this guy's head. It feels really rude.
How many geese do you have?
I have one. We're going to 2 soon though.
So it's a lot of washing.
We wash it once a week. We wash it on Friday, so that I go.
Oh, you don't wash your gi between classes?
Fuck no.
Oh,
kidding me?
I wash my gi between every class.
I don't wash gi. I bathe before going to jiu-jitsu. I don't wash the gi.
So I So I thought
currently it's white with blood marks all over it. So it's ridiculous.
so I don't think there's a way to wear a gi without feeling pretentious for me personally.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
But it's I don't know. It's like it'd be like if you were taking like cooking classes and you put one of them cartoon ass chef hats on. Like
I've internalized it.
Boyardee motherfucker on your head, and you're like.
My internalization of the gi is that because I'm like, this thing sucks, and because of course also like as someone who's I've never done anything like this organized before. I had a younger brother, but that was when I was fucking like 14 or something. Weebie wrestling kind of deal, not like I've never done like high school wrestling, never done college, any of this shit, right? So it's really weird to have the gi used as something to control my movements, and it really throws you the fuck off too. So mentally, Kyle, to your point, I now internalize the gi as it's like training with a backpack full of fucking rocks, right? Like it's a strong like cord or belt around me that people can use for purchase that fucks up all my stuff, but it's only going to make me stronger having gotten used to dealing with that bullshit while it's happening. That's how I internalize that because I hate it too.
So the place that I trained at was no gi, and that just seemed to me like first of all I didn't have to buy anything. I liked that because I always feel like martial arts places are often a scam to sell you equipment anyway. Like they just want to sell you some fucking. I remember I took karate as a kid, and I remember the whole outfit that I had to put on. There was the headgear and the gloves, and I think there was definitely like foot patty things, and of course now we need a fucking punch. There was a whole bunch of shit we bought, and I think I went to like 2 karate classes ever. Like I did not learn karate. Let's put it that way.
Structures like that too, right? Like for at least this place, it's kind of like. It has the standard gym structure kind of stuff, right? Like tell them ahead of time if you're going to cancel. Otherwise, it's a monthly recurring. The prices are kind of like pay more. If you pay more up front for longer, it's a lower rate per month kind of deal. So I do get some of that vibe, but like I'm kind of interested in this. I've been enjoying it. I don't like the injuries. Like I'm coming out with too many injuries over time, and it's impacting my ability to go back. I don't really mind being the bitch of this for a while. Like I can take that for a while, right? Like, but I like it's been a nice replacement for climbing for me. Is a bit. I can see how later the intellect will be involved in this, right? Like I'll be thinking about this. At the moment, it's kind of like I'm in this position. I know what position it is. I have no fucking idea what to do, and I'm screwed. But like later on, it will be like I'll get that moment, and presumably I'll have some thought. Well, I can attack this here. I can try to move here. I can try to transition to that. I like that idea from it. While being physical.
You should take up boxing instead, and then maybe you could fight a Twitch streamer next year.
It would be good for my channel, but I'm not so sure I wish to be struck repeatedly. It's bad enough being choked. So.
Filthy likes his intellect. Let's take it from him. Let's get him into boxing.
Yeah. Boxing's the thinking
knock
man's
his head
game.
around. Yeah,
at first, and then it hopefully gets instinctive before you lose the ability to think.